Okay, good morning. We have another episode of the Property Business Podcast. We have myself, James Hughes, Jonathan Woods, and Fernando Daotro. We don't normally get people on in their first 2 months. We normally wait for at least 6 months, get them going. But Fernando Daotro is smashing it, so we were keen to get him on, hear his story. Fernando, how's it going this morning?
Yes, very, very good, James. Thank you very much for bringing me on board today. Super excited to be part of this this organization, and can't wait to see what the future has got to bring.
Amazing. And John, I always forget to ask how you are. How are you, Mr. Woods?
No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, no, I'm good. Lovely weekend. Really looking forward to this week. Super busy. Lots of agent meetings, lots of property being sold, a lot of completions hopefully on the horizon in the next week or so. And then we've got our awards on Thursday, which is really, really exciting. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Cool. So let's get into it, Fernando. So, Fernando, can you give a bit of information about who you are, where you live, and also your real estate career prior to joining eXp?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I've been in the real estate industry for the past, nearly 10 years now. Was working in a big corporate company before I joined eXp. This journey has been one to definitely remember. After, as soon as I went out of the corporate world, I didn't know where to go really. I was looking at several different options, going to developers, going back to agency again, to another big corporate company. But then, of course, you guys reached out. I obviously had my reservations in relations to going fully independent, and that is quite a big step to make, especially at my kind of age, at early 30s, and not really having much to go by. But I looked at eXp. Not only did I look at eXp, but I also looked at several different options, such as Keller Williams. Keller Williams was an interesting one, one that which definitely didn't really, was kind of the platform that I was looking for, because anyone can become an estate agent at Keller Williams. An Uber driver who has no experience can become an Uber driver, can become an independent estate agent. And I looked at others, such as Douglas and Gordon, which has a different kind of model, but really, really preferred eXp. And the reason why, I kind of really picked eXp was the support network that there is behind us. I've got an extensive amount of experience, all agents within the organizations that we have, and also a way in which that can provide you a way to go off on your own, and you're not ever on your own in eXp. I feel like I'm surrounded by very experienced agents that can help myself grow. That's been my journey.
Amazing. A few points there. So first of all, let's get back to where you were working. What was your role? How long were you working there for?
Yeah, so I was there for about 8 years.
Yeah.
Started off as becoming a negotiators, moved up the ranks then to become valuer, then was manager, then regional kind of manager within the South region.
Yeah.
So yeah, that all
was that in normal sales or new homes?
That was in new homes, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
New homes.
And why didn't you want to? Were you doing well there? I'm sure, given the figures you're doing here, were you doing well? Like, why didn't you want to stay there and move to the next place?
What was the thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I was doing really, really well in that field, except I was very limited to different options of what I had to sell. So I was primarily focused just on new homes, and I wanted to broaden my knowledge and my network to different avenues, such as just normal sales, and also lettings as well. And I wanted to, get my knowledge and broaden my own self moving forward effectively. So as much as I was doing very well there, I mean, one year I did, 90 deals in a year for new homes, which it took a lot of my time. But, that wasn't, for me, that was just for the company. And I feel like if I could do that for working in a big corporate company, imagine what I can do independently, and the amount of money that I can ultimately make.
What were you getting paid for each of those sales, Fernando? What was your percentage cut for that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I was getting like 5 to 7% on that 2% fee. So, an average, 450 grand property, I would take home about, £600, maybe £500. Whereas now it's like, 7 grand, 6 grand, 7 grand.
Yeah, basically seven X at least, and then I mean, you're only 2 months into your career as an independent. I mean, when you come into next year, or even this year when you cap, you're getting 10X on every deal, which is phenomenal. If you think about the time and effort that you put into it, Fernando, I think it's really quite poignant. When I met you, we met at Botanical Hall, and we were chatting for quite a long time. And you're a data man, you're a details man, and I know that you would have gone into real depth with yourself and with assessing the different opportunities that are out there. I mean, you mentioned about the support being part of it, but of course, from the outside, you wouldn't necessarily have known that. What was it that, from a data point of view, from a figures perspective, that made you think, right, eXp is the one I wanted to go with?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a very valid and useful question, because actually that is the one thing that kind of led me to actually come to eXp, is getting to know the amount of money that you can actually be making for yourself. And the figures show for itself. I mean, I've got I did my figures as kind of worst case, best case scenario, better case scenario.
Yeah.
And I'm on track at the moment actually to do the better case scenario, which is great.
Amazing.
But yeah, the figure shows for itself. I mean, the amount that you can earn versus, what I was earning in the corporate company, is second to none. So, for example, the money that you get 70% of the total amount, and then 30% goes to eXp. But this 30% is honestly so valuable that I really don't mind giving that 30% to eXp, because the amount of things that we get in the background is so useful for any agent to become independent. That I really don't. And 70% is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. As I mentioned, it's now I'm going to be getting 6-7 grand off the back of the same amount that I was getting at 500-600 pounds.
I think a lot of people forget as well is that you started your business, you've got obviously money behind you to be able to keep yourself going. You've got to be able to pay your bills and pay your outgoings or whatever that you have. But that 30% is only taken on a sale. So you've had the grace of being able to set up your business, but having people investing in you from the outset. So you've got a website build, you've got access to the portals, you've got call answering services, you've got Regis offices worldwide to work out of, you've got an AML platform to use, you've got a signing platform to use, you've also got now 60 other agents to tap into as part of our organization to give you that boost to get going. And what's your outgoing bill to eXp at the moment is your £125 plus VAT subscription fee. And your KPI is your own KPI, Fernando. You set your own goals and set your own targets. And eXp don't expect anything from you apart from a commission split on 30% when you sell something. So you're getting almost like an angel investor to give you money to get your business going, saying, go on, Fernando, go and you smash it. And we'll only take that money from you. And it's not a debt. So if, for example, you decided to say, do you know what, it's not for me, you're not getting a big fat bill at the end of that saying, thank you, please, can you pay for all this stuff we've just paid for? So I think it's really exciting to see, someone like yourself who's, obviously analysed everything, but is now, as James saying, following the process. And what's been your sort of first month in eXp? What did it look like? What did you do to get to where you are?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, the first month was as I said, very nerve-wracking, because you're going into something that is completely alien to you. But having this to support network has really helped me guide through that process. From the beginning, even at beginning stage where you have to go through all the paperwork in order for you to become an independent agent. That took some time, about 2 weeks, in order for me to actually get going. But within that 2 weeks, it just kind of helped me get ready to become the agent that I was once, and hopefully will remain to be. But
You've
yeah,
been
first, yeah, go ahead.
well, you've been smashing it. So when we kind of touched on like following the process now, because myself and John have kind of figured this all out 3 years ago. For all of the new agents now, we kind of give a crib sheet. There you go, follow the process, and straight away you were ticking off all of those points. For example, the 6 lead generation ideas: data, social media, networking, prospecting, door knocking. He's like, James, like, I've done all of those. What's next? I was like, well, just keep doing those religiously. So you've joined BNI. You weren't aware of what BNI was. Luckily, there was a seat going in Dulwich for BNI. It's a networking event. Many of the eXp agents there in BNI. How's BNI going for you, Fernando?
Yeah, really, really well. And that was one of the lead generations that helped me to get some listings. And yeah, BNI has helped me dramatically, both from a networking point of view within the community, but also to help generate my business growth.
Amazing. And then you were asked to take quite a senior role at literally only kind of 2 months in, weren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm hopefully gonna be. That's due to come in the next couple of days. So hopefully becoming in a senior role there.
Yeah,
But
amazing.
watch the space on that one.
Yeah, and that's just goes. You're working hard. You're doing the social media. You're getting involved. The beauty about this business is that they give you the business in a box. If you work hard, follow the process, the results come. If you don't work hard, if you don't do anything, there's no results. But you are a prime example. You've worked hard, follow the process, and your results, they are literally coming in. And I've got your figures here, which is insane. How are you with regards to, yeah, I mean, carry on talking about your kind of first month and then your second month, and then I'll discuss your figures after. Yeah, so how's your first month? How's your second month going?
Yeah. So the first month was all about building. So like you said, James, is getting the business development side of the business going. So prospecting tool that we have on our Loop platform, which you can send out letters to all prospective kind of buyers or sellers and renters. So I did a lot of prospecting. I got my leaflets going. I had my business cards. And within that, managed to get and the organization is the key one. With the likes of yourself, Ashley, and John, who's helped me get some listings in order for me to get going. I managed to secure, I think, on my first month, 3 agreed sales. On my second month, I managed to get 4. But with that, of course, there's lots of valuations that have been going on and getting quite a lot of instructions so far. So
Yeah.
Sorry, James. I was going to say, I'm just going to put that in perspective. So my first month, I spent basically floundering around trying to figure out how to do what an H1 title was for my website. How to figure out loads of rubbish that I haven't got a clue what Canva was. Didn't even know what that was. Spent a week trying to figure out how to make something smaller on Canva. And it took me a month to get a listing, and then it took me a month to sell it. James, I think it took you a little bit longer to get your first listing as well, for about 2 or 3 months.
3 months.
So what we're trying to say here is, like, James and I are, without being modest about it, been pretty successful over the last 3 years. And the organization is growing rapidly. There are some huge and amazing success stories out there, but the speed at which you have reached where you have reached, Fernando, is amazing. So you should be very, very proud of yourself. And I think it's also testament to, one, your hard work, but secondly, having other people who have sort of trodden the path stand on the shoulders of giants, as they say. You're going to be, meteoric rise is basically your success is our success, and we're really, really, really excited for where you're going to go in the future. And I think it's incredible.
So let's go through. So this morning, right on cue, Fernando, you did an Instagram post, 2 months, 12 live instructions, 7 properties under offer, 2 pending offers, 3 listing awaiting photos, total property value under offer just below 3 million. That is amazing. Interesting point here. Another agent, High Street, he recently joined a other independent brokerage. The splits aren't as good as where we are. He has to go in. He's told to go into the office, but he went there because he thought he would have access to leads. Obviously, here we're not here to give leads, but the network now, 65 agents. There's so much instructions that the network has. When I went away, I gave all of my keys to Fernando. I loved my conference in Miami. Fernando just kept sending me WhatsApps, offer agreed, offer agreed, offer agreed. So some of your listings haven't been self-generated, they've been from the network, but it's helping my business to grow. And there's so much business to be done within the network as well. And then you're absolutely smashing it. And then you're also doing deals with Ben Morris. So Ben Morris, who's recently joined, has access to so many developers. He lives in Margate. He needs a good guy on the ground in Croydon, and you're now doing collaborations with Ben as well, aren't you, Fernando?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the biggest thing that this organization has brought, is about the way in which that we all collaborate. Unlike, a lot of your big corporate companies where they just want the fee, it's theirs or no one else's. It's just a different way of which that, I think that real estate is going, is collaborating with each other. There's always going to be, one piece to share around for the whole organization, whether that's, you getting an instruction on, or you even finding a buyer for your colleague, or not colleague, but your organization. You can still get some sort of a fee by collaborating together. And it's all about that teamwork building to be a successful organization. And that's what you guys have kind of brought into
I think the
real
key
estate.
in it is the fact that for the first time we actually have a reasonable fee for what we do, because minimum 70% is coming to us, and when you're capped 100%. So if you have a £400,000 property and you have a reasonable fee, and you're charging a good fee, I charge 2%, so let's call that 8k. So if I'm capped, I've got 8,000. If you come and sell it for me and I give you £4,000 or £3,000, I've still got 7 for myself. That's still a pretty good deal for both parties. You've opened the door and shown the viewing, and I've brought the listing. Those splits can vary depending on what the amount of involvement and the different people that are involved. Sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 25, sometimes it's a bit more or less. But if you're a high street agent and you're making 10%, 7%, whatever of that deal, and you only got 500 quid in that deal, Fernando, you don't want to give away half of it because it's only £500. Why would you're just going to keep it for yourself? And also all the volume that is required to maintain that. You've got maybe 70, 80 listings. You don't care whether 1 or 2 of them don't sell. You just want to sell some of them. Whereas we try to sell everything, everything that we have. I think I don't sell absolutely everything, but I think I'm in the high, or sort of at least the 90% range of what I list. I think, if we look at what the average estate agent sells on the high street, I think I wouldn't like to hazard a guess, but I think it's between 40 and 50%.
Just even off that one deal, Jonathan, you're making, even if you're getting 25 or 35% of that deal, you're still making a lot more than if you did one deal in the corporate world. You know what I mean? So, it just goes to show that even regardless of, that collaboration, you're still getting way more than what you would have ever gotten in the corporate world.
I think if you look at a sort of a baseline level for most independent agents, if they apply themselves, and if you were to sell, I don't know what the average fee is across London, but if you took an average fee in my area of say 7,000, even if you were to sell one home every single month, just one a month, that's 7,000 times 12. So you're looking at 80 grand a year. That's capping just by selling one property a month. And people like yourself, driven individuals, one's not enough, and you're not going to just sell one property per month, are you? You're going to go on as many listings as you can get onto. And when you strip out all of the meetings for meeting's sake and dealing with teams of people, you're just dealing with yourself, and your input is your output. Just think where that can go. If you do two sales per month, that's 170,000 a year. Just two sales. So one is 80, two is 180,000. It's crazy. And we talk about these numbers sometimes. It can be devalued at what that is. Getting an 80 grand a year salary as a branch manager in London is a pretty decent gig. That's kind of where you're kind of looking at for a lot of people within zone 2, maybe zone 1, maybe a little bit higher. But you're gonna have to trade a lot of time and effort to get that. What's next for you, Fernando? What are you looking forward to?
Well, to be honest, I'm looking forward to December because I have got quite a lot of listings that are coming onto the market. I'm super excited to get those on. They're actually currently doing 2 different places today, photos while we're speaking right now. So 2 listings coming on. So we got one in Putney. Well, Wandsworth, Putney area. Then I've got one in Croydon, which is Pinnacle Apartments, which is coming soon. All at very, very good prices.
Your Putney one, you've got myself, you've got Jack. We've got 2 other brokers as well, which are in Miles Rutland. We've all got buyers for that. So let us know what it is when it launches. Send us the preview and we can get it out to our buyers before it goes live, and we try and get some viewings on it.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I might do a little broker event.
Do a broker open, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll get down there as well. So it's if it's in Putney, we've got a lot of people.
2 bed, 1 bath, 400,000. I mean, how you're never going to find a 2 bed and one's worth for 400 grand. So
I've got a 2.5 on West Hill in Putney, SW15 at 500. So you can cross sell that up as well.
Amazing.
Okay. Monday morning call out session again. And Fernando, and your social media, you're on it. You're doing videos as well. Are you using Richard, who's on our kind of crib sheet for you? Is that who you're using for your photography at the moment, or have you got other contacts?
Yeah. Richard has been an absolutely machine, helping me out with a lot of the photos that I've got. And again, that crib sheet is so useful to have because when I'm ever getting lost or anything like that, and I don't know what to do, what the next steps is, that crib sheet that you have created, James and John, has really helped me guide through my next step.
Nice.
And
obviously you followed Ashley Whitehouse, Foxton's 16 years, just in his first year, had a good first year. He's got a very solid pipeline. He could be capping quite early into his second year. Were you following Ashley's journey thinking you're going to see how he gets on before making the jump, or were you always thinking about doing it, or was it Ashley's success that kind of made you decide this is for you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ashley was an inspiration for me to get onto to eXp, seeing his journey from the start, when he left, because he was in my office when he left, and then 6 months down the line, just seeing how many properties he was getting, how many properties under offer he was getting, was an inspiration to really go to make that jump. And seeing your figures as well, James, Jonathan, you guys are absolutely smashing it, and is definitely an inspiration for me to be there.
Fernando, the exciting thing about this is that yes, my figures are awesome, but I am 3 years in. My first year, myself and John didn't know what to do. All of the guys now, they are doing so much better than me and John. That's why I get so excited. Just keep working hard, follow the process. You're doing so much better. We can't wait to see your first year and then your second year. Fernando,
there's a little goal for you. So we've had in the organisation, we've had one person cap in year 1. and that's Daniel Archer. There's someone else who's about to do it. I think Scott's about to do
Scott
it.
West, fingers crossed.
He's going to be number 2, and he might get it in by Thursday. We'll have to see. But Fernando, I think, a man like yourself, you could do it. I didn't do it. I nearly got there, not quite. But from a standing start, I reckon if we're talking in 6 months' time, I reckon you're going to be close. So let's see it. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Just a final question, Fernando. When you started, what were the concerns that you had? And what were the concerns about partnering with eXp?
My main concern was, being kind of a bit lonely on the job, because you're moving from a big corporate network where you have all these people around you to then become alone per se. But ever since joining, I've realized how not alone you are, to be honest, because if you have an eXp agent that is around your area, you can always give them a call, go for a viewing, go for a valuation with them, meet them for a coffee, explain what the next process is, what is the next step, etc. So I think that was a big concern that has been already alleviated quite quickly. Another big one was the money side of things. I'm not going to get my first paycheck for the next at least 4 to 6 months, and I still have a mortgage to pay, I've got bills to pay, etc. And it was just a matter of organizing myself to make sure that I had enough sufficient funds in order for me to actually take that step. And like you said, Jonathan, before, when I met you, was making sure that I did that crib sheet so that I knew fairly when I was gonna make some money, and for anyone that's listening to this and who's looking to potentially join, believe me, I've done an in-depth Excel spreadsheet, and if you are wanting to get to know what that looks like before you join, I'm happy to sit down with you and kind of go through that in a little bit more detail. But yeah, those two were my main concerns, and long and behold, I think I've made the right decision as the figures are showing for it.
And you mentioned not receiving money for 6 months. Yes, normally, but you've got a pipeline of circa just below 20k. We've got one that we're doing 50-50 that could be about £3,500 in your pocket in January. That's 3 months.
Yeah.
3.5. That isn't too far away from your previous net salary of circa 4 to 4.5k. So we do, obviously it's down to the agents, it's down to them to work hard, lead generate, business development, but we have so much access to the stock now, and you've been an amazing help for me when I've been away covering all of my stock. That's actually allowed my business to grow, because I've let go slightly, because of amazing agents like you who are doing arguably, I don't want to say a better job than me on a live podcast, because all my clients will go and use you, but equally as good. But you are encouraging, but you are making me stay sharp on my toes.
No, I just want to say, big thank you though for both of you and Ashley, who's helped me guide through this process. Because I honestly, without kind of this support network, I don't think I would be where I am today. So big kudos to you guys as well.
Well, that's the key point of it all. Is we've found the way, and we're just helping other people to be bigger and better than we are, and that's the biggest accolade I can take, is seeing our people within our organisation run with it much quicker than we ever did, and that's the beauty of it, and the way that eXp is built in its sort of altruistic framework, which as Fernando said, if you're interested in learning more about eXp, but also our organisation that we have within the eXp framework, Fernando is an incredible agent. He's shown how well and how quickly you can be successful, and he's a details guy. So believe me, he's also sort of a fly by the seat of pants. He knows what he's talking about. So reach out to him, and he'll give you his special sauce on how he got there.
And how do we get hold of you, Fernando? What's your Instagram? Or how does one get hold of you?
Yeah, so Instagram is Fernando Daotro eXp. Hopefully, we can put a little link below with my contact details. But yeah,
We're not that tech savvy yet, but maybe you can do that.
We'll get there. We're slightly older than you, Fernando, but we're getting there. Yeah, so also you're on LinkedIn as well.
LinkedIn.
Are you coming on Thursday, Fernando? Are you going to be there?
Yes, really excited for the Christmas party. I'm gonna be dressing up like. Well, do we have to wear tux? Do we?
You can wear whatever you wish. You're a business owner. It's encouraged to be formal, but you can wear. I've seen guys turn up in tracksuits before. Believe me, that's not a joke.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like you don't work for a company. We're all independent business owners. You can turn up however you want. You can turn up on a mankini if you want to. But the point on that is that going back to that thing, you're not alone. We're part of a $1.9 billion market cap company across 27 countries of the world. This is really exciting for where it's going. We're new in the UK. It's getting much more traction now. The momentum that we have is absolutely phenomenal. And both myself, James, and now Fernando, I'm glad to be in business with you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Have
a great visit. I'll see you Thursday.
We'll see you on Thursday.
See you guys Thursday, Christmas party.
See you then, guys. Bye.
Cheers.